I'm Chief Terry Monahan. I'm here with Chief Kevin Maloney from the Force Investigation Division. We're going to be discussing last night's MOS discharge in the 2-8 precinct. We are going to be releasing some building surveillance camera video of the incident last night. And as you watch the video, you're going to see how quickly this incident escalated and how our cops had to make a split-second decision based on what they observed. Chief Mullaney will also give you the dialogue that occurs between the officers and the subject that we recorded on the body-worn cameras. So, Kevin, you want to walk through it?
Thanks, Chief. Good afternoon, everybody. Just start with a quick review of last night. We have a radio run for a man with a firearm at 5:46 hours. Patrol units from the 2-8 precinct respond to that location over on 234 West 114th Street. Upon their arrival, approximately 2 minutes later, uniformed personnel were directed by witnesses up to the 4th floor where the perpetrator was supposedly located at that point. The officers enter the elevator and they begin ascending the elevator up to that 4th floor. When they arrive at the 4th floor, 3 officers get out of the elevator, 2 police officers and 1 lieutenant. They immediately see the suspect at the far end of the hallway. The suspect starts walking towards the 2 of them. One officer instructs him, "Hey, stay right there, stay right there. Get your hands out of your pocket." The subject then replies to the officers, "What do you mean, take my hands out of my pocket? I've got a gun. What the F do you mean?" He then repeats the statement, "I've got a gun." With that, one officer fires 3 rounds from his service weapon, striking the subject 1 time in his in the front midsection. The subject then falls to the ground and he's taken into custody. The video we're going to show here is taken from that hallway. It's CCTV surveillance video from the building over there on 114th Street. So if we could just cue that up now, we'll walk you through this. So this is the subject walking towards the officers. The officers are at the bottom of the screen, just out of view. And again, the body-worn camera will hear the officer give him 2 commands: stay right there, stay right there, get your hands out of your pocket. The subject then replies, "What do you mean, get my hands out of my pocket? I've got a gun. What the F do you mean?" And he'll repeat the statement, "I've got a gun." You'll see his right hand will come out of that pocket. He'll point a black object in the direction of the officers, take a shooting stance. At that point, the officers fire 3 rounds, and the subject falls to the ground and is taken into custody at that point. So that'll keep looping for you. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Were you able to positively identify what the object is?
The object turns out to be a black wallet, bifold wallet.
How far, roughly, was he from that one?
It's about 15 to 20 feet at the time of the discharge.
Was there a weapon found at the scene as well?
He was also in possession of a silver knife. The 911 calls that brought us to the location, we had a 911 caller that allegedly saw a firearm in his hand. So he reports to 911 that the perpetrator's armed with a firearm. When we get there, that 911 caller actually meets us down in the lobby. The investigation directs us up to that 4th floor. But at this point, the officers believe they're responding to a person that's alleged to have a firearm.
Was it just a normal black wallet, like a black leather wallet, or was it one of those wallets that looked like?
It was a black leather wallet, you know, a bifold wallet that opens in half.
Do you have to give us your assessment based on what you've seen and heard, how this played out?
Sure. If you look at it, take real close. We're responding, our cops are responding to a man with a gun. From a witness, first a 911 call, and then a witness downstairs who says that he observed the male with a gun. We get out of the elevator, we see the male walking towards us. We ask him to take his hands out of his pocket. He goes into his pocket, says he has a gun, pulls a black object up, takes it in a 2-handed stance, covering the top of it as if you were racking a slide. At that point, our cops had less than a second to make a decision. They fired. So, in my opinion, they acted appropriately.
Have you actually done the timing? How much time did the police officers have?
6 seconds. 6 seconds from when they first encountered him.
Can you talk about his prior history in this building? There's a order of protection there?
There is, yes. He at one point resided on an apartment in that building. He does have family that lives in that building. There's an active order of protection keeping him from that location. So yesterday it appears that he was at the location in violation of that order of protection. He does have several prior department records for emotionally disturbed activity that he's been removed from the scene to the hospital, and additionally he has several arrests that have been erratic behavior, including a violation at order protection back in December.
At that same incident, back in December, one of your officers was injured by him. I think the officer was bitten or he spit on the officer's face.
Yeah, I don't have all the particulars on that prior incident, but I can tell you that he was arrested. It was New Year's Eve, December 31st, and he was removed to the precinct under arrest at that point.
Last night there was some talk about him bleeding when they encountered him.
He did have a cover.
Yeah. So the initial 911 call says that in addition to the firearm, that he believed that the perpetrator had a cut to his face. He did have a cut. It's just under investigation. That happened prior to our interaction, prior to the 911 calls interaction. How that cut was sustained is still under investigation.
Chief, do these officers know of his past history and any of the callers reference his past troubles? The family suggesting that he was known, his emotion problems were known to police in that precinct. I'm not sure if they meant the officers last night or just in general. Do you know of that?
He does have a history, obviously. We just spoke about it being removed from that scene. Last night, though, what brings the officers to that location is the 911 call for the man with the gun. That individual does not know this person, so that information isn't conveyed to the officers in the initial dispatch of the job.
And so his family, no one in his family were among the 911 callers?
There is a family member that calls 911. What brings the officers to the scene is that initial 911 call. So as they're arriving at the scene, that's when the second 911 call is coming into dispatch.
So does that second call describe him by name, by emotional history, et cetera?
There's additional information that comes in with that call. She does identify him as a name. The husband gets on a phone. He says that he's afraid to come out of the apartment and indicates that he's not going to open his door because he's in fear for his, the safety with his son out in the hallway.
Sir, can you speak a little bit about the officer who fired the first incident where they fired? Did they clear the testing for alcohol or any substances?
It is, yes. So as a part of department procedure, any officer that discharges their weapon within the confines of New York City that injures somebody is tested for alcohol. The officer, as per procedure, was tested last night. The results were 0, no alcohol in his system. The particular officer that discharged his weapon had 2.5 years with the department, and this is his first firearms discharge.
Anyone else?
All right, thank you very much.